I really don't care what happens to her at all. I don't care. Like, everybody they tiptoe around with this social media, but what y'all don't get is that it be real consequence for y'all little flexes, y'all quick flexes for $300 that you need. It be consequence.
It was supposed to be a normal night, a celebration, a peaceful moment for Teyana Taylor to finally breathe. But instead, everything spiraled out of control, and before anyone could understand what was happening, the police were storming the venue, pushing through the chaos, and trying to separate two men who had lost control, Iman Shumpert and Aaron Pierre. The night had started quietly. Teyana was hosting a private event, a soft launch for a fashion collab she'd been working on for months. It was her baby, her vision, something she'd put her entire heart into while trying to recover from one of the most painful chapters of her life. Close friends, family, and a few media insiders had been invited. Aaron walked in confidently, dressed in all black, standing tall next to Teyana like he belonged there. He smiled for cameras, whispered sweet things in her ear, and kept one hand on the small of her back all night, like he was letting the world know, she's with me now. Some eyes turned. Some whispers started. But most people tried to act like it was normal. It wasn't. Iman showed up uninvited. That's what made it different. No one expected him to be there. He hadn't been on the guest list, and his name hadn't come up once in the planning. But somehow, someone tipped him off. Maybe it was curiosity. Maybe it was jealousy. Maybe he just wanted to see it for himself, the man who replaced him in Teyana's life. Or maybe he still wasn't over her. Maybe seeing her smile in photos with someone else finally pushed him too far. At first, he stood off in the corner, quiet, trying to blend in. But it was impossible. The tension in the room shifted immediately. People stopped sipping their drinks. Some left. Others started recording on their phones, sensing something was about to happen. Teyana spotted him and froze. Her eyes said everything. Confusion. Fear. A tiny flash of anger. She walked up to him slowly, whispering something only they could hear. He nodded, but his jaw was tight. His hands were in fists. For a while, nothing happened. Iman stood on one side of the room, Aaron on the other. Teyana moved between them, trying to keep the peace, her nerves barely hidden under her forced smile. She kept glancing between the two, pretending to laugh at jokes, but her shoulders were tense, her eyes tired. But then it happened. A whisper. A smirk. Aaron leaned over to a friend and said something, but the words carried. Iman heard him. He had his shot. She's mine now. That was it. Iman turned, walked straight toward Aaron, and got in his face. No yelling at first. Just tension. Aaron didn't back down. He stood up. The energy shifted again. People backed away. Some grabbed their coats. Teyana shouted for them to stop, her voice rising with each second. But it was too late. One push. One swing. And suddenly, it was all fists, flying drinks, overturned tables, screams. Teyana was in the middle, trying to pull them apart, sobbing, begging. Please stop. You're hurting me. Security rushed in but got knocked back as the two men continued throwing punches. Guests scattered. Someone slipped and fell. Glass shattered. A table snapped in half under the weight of the fight. It was chaos. Pure chaos. One woman screamed so loud it pierced through the music. A waiter dropped a tray. Another guest tried to hold him on back, only to get elbowed in the chest. Aaron's friend tried to pull him away, but Aaron shoved him off. It wasn't a fight anymore, it was war. Fueled by ego, heartbreak, and everything they never said out loud. Someone finally called 911. The screaming didn't stop. One guest live-streamed it. Another tried to grab Teyana and pull her away. Her dress was torn. Her hands were bleeding. Her voice cracked as she screamed again. Stop. The sirens were fast. Within minutes, police cars surrounded the building. Officers rushed in, yelling commands, pointing flashlights, pushing through the crowd. Aaron was on top of Iman, holding him by the collar, ready to swing again. But two cops tackled him. Another yanked Iman to his feet. Both men were handcuffed. Teyana stood in the middle of it all, shaking, trying to explain through tears. It's not what it looks like. Please, they're just emotional. But the cops didn't care about emotions. Not in that moment. They pulled the men apart, dragged them outside. The paparazzi had already arrived. Flashbulbs exploded as both men were escorted into separate police cars. Not arrested, just detained, questioned, photographed, all while Teyana cried behind them. The internet exploded before the truth even landed. Clips surfaced. One showed Iman shouting, "You don't deserve her." Another caught Aaron saying, "She chose me." Twitter was a battlefield. Instagram was flooded with theories. Who started it? Who was to blame? Was Teyana secretly seeing both? Was it a PR stunt? Nobody knew, but everyone had an opinion. Some fans were defending Iman, calling him a real one for standing up. Others said Aaron was the victim. And some were just watching for the drama. Iman posted first. A black screen with white letters. They'll never appreciate what they didn't help build. Then Aaron's team released a photo of his bruised face, captioned, "Sometimes peace comes after pain." Teyana stayed quiet for 2 days. Then finally, she posted a short message. "I wanted peace. I prayed for peace. But peace doesn't want me back." Behind the scenes, things were even darker. A source close to Teyana said she had a breakdown that night, that she collapsed in the bathroom, holding her knees, whispering, "This is my fault." That she blamed herself for trying to heal too fast, for believing she could love again while still hurting. That she questioned whether she should have ever let either man stay in her life. Reports said she pulled out of upcoming appearances. She wasn't seen in public for days. Her team canceled interviews. Brands paused collaborations. She was hiding, not from the world, but from herself. A woman who once commanded every stage she walked on now couldn't bring herself to leave her bedroom. Meanwhile, legal whispers started. Iman's team was reportedly considering reopening custody talks, claiming Teyana's environment wasn't stable, that their daughter shouldn't be around this level of violence. Aaron's team pushed back. They claimed Iman had violated boundaries by showing up uninvited, that he was the aggressor, that he had a history of emotional manipulation. And now there were whispers that video from inside the party might become evidence in court. Some fans picked sides like it was a championship game. Team Teyana, Team Iman, Team Aaron the actor. The internet lit up with theories, edits, threads, and timestamps. Hashtags exploded. Hashtag protect Teyana, hashtag free Iman, hashtag Aaron the actor. Each one painting a different villain, a different victim. Talk shows couldn't get enough. Podcasts went full FBI mode. Even blue-check celebs chimed in with cryptic subtweets and Insta stories. One R&B singer posted, "That's why I keep my heart on Do Not Disturb." A reality star tweeted, "Imagine crying over someone who wouldn't even flinch if you disappeared." But here's the part most people missed. Teyana never asked for the circus. She didn't want a scandal. She wanted love, soft, safe, steady. What she got instead was a storyline, a trending topic, a heartbreak served up like clickbait. Her tears became memes. Her silence was picked apart like a puzzle. Her pain became everyone's entertainment. Behind the scenes, though, a very different picture. Friends say she's on the edge, emotionally, spiritually. She's thinking about vanishing altogether. Maybe leaving the country. Maybe disappearing from the spotlight for good. One friend whispered, "She's tired of being the strong one. She's tired of holding it together for everyone else." Another said, "Iman broke her with absence. Aaron broke her with bad timing. It's like she can't win." There are whispers she's journaling every night, pages soaked in ink and truth. She's in therapy not once, but 3 times a week. Deleted numbers, blocked contacts, cleared history. Some say she's writing a book, a tell-all. Others say she'll never speak on it again, because some wounds need silence to heal, not spectators. And yet, she's still here. Not loud, not messy, just surviving. For her daughter, for her peace, for herself. Because one thing is clear, fame doesn't shield you from betrayal. And love, when tainted by ego, envy, and entitlement, can go from sacred to savage real quick. What really happened that night? Only a few know. But what's undeniable is this. Teyana's heartbreak exposed more than drama. It exposed the fragility of image, the cruelty of public opinion, and the danger of loving out loud. And maybe, just maybe, she'll rise again, not just as a woman scorned, but a woman reborn. One moment, you're building something beautiful. The next, you're standing in broken glass, begging the people you once loved to stop fighting. That's what happened to Teyana. She didn't choose violence, but violence found her. And now, the world is watching her pick up the pieces again. And maybe, just maybe, this time she'll finally learn that peace doesn't come from people. It comes from walking away from the noise. Even when the whole world is still watching.